You've met people who are brilliant and hardworking, yet they're still stuck financially. Not because they're missing effort, but because they're following a model that silently caps them. Think of it as a map. If the map is wrong, even perfect effort takes you to the wrong place. The first trap is assuming effort automatically becomes income. Effort creates motion, but money only shows up when that motion produces a result someone else values. Skills matter, but only the skills people are willing to pay for. The market doesn't reward how impressive a skill looks on paper. It rewards how directly the skill removes pain or creates a concrete outcome. A job can be a starting point, but it is rarely a scalable system. In most jobs, your income is capped by hours and by someone else's budget. It's stable, but the ceiling is built in. Money is not paid for trying. It is paid for value delivered. The only question that matters is, what changed for the other person because you existed? This whole model hides a deeper assumption: someone else defines value for you. School, bosses, and career ladders decide what counts. If you want leverage, you need a thinking method that lets you define value from the ground up. So the goal isn't to work harder inside the old model. The goal is to change the model. Next, we'll compare two ways of thinking: copying what already worked, versus rebuilding the problem from truth. When the default path doesn't scale, the next move isn't to work harder. It's to think differently, because the strategy you choose is shaped by how you explain the world to yourself. Analogy thinking copies what already worked, which is fast but crowded. It's like joining a traffic jam because you saw other cars moving in that direction. It often sounds like this: everyone is doing it, so I should do it too. The problem is, if you start with imitation, your only strategy is to be louder, faster, or luckier. First principles thinking asks what must be true, and rebuilds from there. Instead of copying a strategy, you rebuild the system. What does the customer want, what blocks them, and what is the simplest path to the outcome? The power is in the questions, not the answers you already have. Great questions cut through noise and reveal the real levers: what must be true, what can be simplified, and what can be removed entirely. Next, we'll see this mindset in action with a real case: batteries. You'll notice how a fixed market price turns into a list of ingredients and a solvable equation. Let's make first principles practical. This battery example shows how deconstruction turns a fixed price into a solvable problem. The point is not batteries. The point is the method you can reuse on income, products, and markets. Most people accept the market price as the true cost. They treat it like physics. But a price is just a decision made by a supply chain. But builders deconstruct: what are the raw ingredients, and what do they cost? When you break a problem into components, you stop arguing with the world and start designing around constraints. Once you price the inputs at the source, the story changes immediately. You can see which parts are expensive, which are cheap, and what can be substituted or redesigned. The gap between price and cost is where opportunity lives. If you can close the gap with a new process, a new supplier, or a smarter design, you create an unfair advantage. Sometimes the barrier is not physics. It's just tradition. First principles thinking is how you separate real constraints from inherited assumptions. Now take that same lens to money. If income feels vague, it usually means the structure of value is hidden. In the next card, we'll lay out the architecture of value clearly. Now apply that logic to income. Money is not a reward for time, it's a transfer of value. And once you see money as value transfer, you can stop chasing random ideas and start designing value deliberately. People pay when a solution improves their reality, pain, time, or status. If nothing improves, payment feels irrational. If something improves clearly, payment feels natural. Value is not what you do. It is the improvement they feel. Your work is internal. Their outcome is external. Always measure value on their side of the table. Money is just the scoreboard of that improvement moving from them to you. It doesn't mean you're morally good or bad. It means value moved, and the market kept score. So the job is simple: build value first, and income follows. When you focus on value, money becomes a byproduct instead of a mystery. Next, we'll make value even more concrete by turning income into a simple multiplication model. You'll see exactly which lever is missing when revenue stays stuck. Once you understand value, income stops being mysterious. You can reconstruct it from zero as an equation you can engineer. This is useful because it turns vague motivation into specific levers you can improve one by one. Instead of guessing, model income like an equation you can engineer. When income is low, the question is not, what should I do? It's, which variable is too small right now? Start with users, a specific group with a specific urgent problem. If you can't name them, you can't reach them. If you can't reach them, nothing else matters. Then value: how much better is their life after your solution? The more specific the outcome, the easier it is to price and to explain. Trust converts interest into payment. Proof, clarity, and credibility. People don't buy the best solution. They buy the solution they believe will work for them. Delivery is execution, consistent results, not occasional wins. If delivery is shaky, value collapses and trust evaporates. Consistency is leverage. But even with a perfect model, most people stay stuck because of identity. The next card shows the shift from being a seeker of opportunities to being a builder of value. Models don't work if your identity stays the same. This is the shift from seeking opportunities to building them. Identity decides what you notice, what you ignore, and what you repeat every day. The seeker asks, what job can I get with my skills? It's a permission-based question. Someone else must say yes before your life moves. The builder asks, what problem can I solve with leverage? It's a creation-based question. You move by producing value, not by waiting to be chosen. So you start by locating demand, not by collecting skills. Skills are tools. Demand is direction. Without direction, more tools just creates more confusion. You analyze reality instead of following trends. Trends are noisy. Reality is stable: people complain, pay, and repeat patterns. That's where durable opportunities come from. And you create opportunity by shipping, not waiting. Shipping creates feedback. Feedback creates clarity. And clarity compounds faster than experience. Now let's turn that identity into a repeatable loop you can run weekly. In the next card, you'll get a simple 5-step framework that keeps you moving from problem to product. Now we turn the mindset into action. This is a simple 5-step loop you can run starting today, again and again. The goal is not perfection. The goal is momentum with feedback. Pick a real pain point people complain about every week. If people complain repeatedly, it means the problem is persistent. Persistent problems are where money is. Break it down until you can see the root cause. Many problems look complicated, but they usually hide one bottleneck. Find the bottleneck and the solution becomes simpler. Rebuild a simpler path to the outcome they want. Your advantage is often a shorter path, fewer steps, or clearer decisions, not a magical secret. Deliver it as content, a service, or a product people can buy. Start small, one clear outcome for one clear person. That is how you earn trust and learn fast. Then iterate fast. Feedback beats theory. Every loop teaches you what the market actually wants, and the loop itself becomes your engine of growth. Once you can run this loop, you don't need to chase random business ideas. You can generate ideas from reality. Next, I'll show 3 opportunity categories where this loop creates fast, unfair leverage. With that loop in mind, here are 3 opportunity types where first principles thinking gives you immediate leverage. These are not the only paths, but they are high-signal starting points because the value is easy to prove. Information is abundant. Clarity is rare. People pay for the filter. If you can turn a messy topic into a simple decision, you become valuable immediately. Time is the ultimate constraint. Saving it creates obvious value. Automation, templates, and better workflows are powerful because the customer can feel the benefit instantly. Packaging a skill into a specific outcome multiplies its price. People don't buy skills. They buy results. The clearer the promise, the higher the willingness to pay. Even with great opportunities, people still get stuck because of predictable mistakes. In the next card, we'll cover the 3 traps that kill momentum before the first result appears. To keep momentum, you also need to know what to avoid. These traps make progress feel busy, but produce nothing. If you can avoid these 3, you'll move faster than most beginners. The first trap is starting with tactics instead of demand. Tactics are endless. Demand is finite and observable. Start with the problem first, then choose the simplest tactic that fits. The second trap is consuming knowledge with no output. Information feels productive because it reduces anxiety. But the only way to earn money is to produce something the market can react to. The last trap is waiting for certainty. Action creates clarity. You don't think your way to confidence. You act your way to evidence. Now let's close with the real meta advantage behind all of this. It's not experience. It's clarity, and clarity is something you can build on purpose. If you strip everything down, the meta skill isn't intelligence, hustle, or credentials. It's clarity, the ability to see what matters and act on it. And clarity is not something you wait for, it's something you manufacture. That's why the real formula is simple: ship, get feedback, and let the signal reshape your next move. Every loop turns uncertainty into evidence, and evidence into direction. Ship means publish a tiny version that a real person can touch. Feedback means listen for friction and results, not compliments. Clarity means you now know what to cut, what to double down on, and what to build next. If you're stuck, run a 7-day sprint. Day 1, choose one painful problem. Days 2 to 4, build the smallest useful fix. Days 5 to 7, put it in front of people, observe, and iterate. 1 week is enough to change your trajectory. Keep 3 guardrails, measure value on their side, what improved. Let evidence beat confidence, data over vibes. And prefer consistency over intensity. Small loops done weekly will beat rare bursts of effort. So start today, pick one problem, run one loop, and collect evidence. You're not trying to look like an expert. You're building clarity on purpose, and clarity will build the income. Beyond paradigms. Exponential thinking.